I'm going to go ahead with the meeting beginning ritual now. 起立，面向佛堂，参加先鞠躬、一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，参加各位的传习鞠躬，开班一鞠躬，请坐下。Please be seated. Going back a little bit further on Bill's talk on his experience obtaining the shrine in his home, I thought I'd share some of my observations as well about the other person who's gone through that same path, and that is Ed. As I mentioned, Ed is not able to join our presentations for probably another month. As I also mentioned, his son Casey, whom I pretty much watched grow up, will be heading into the army. So there's he wants to spend more time with Casey before he leaves home. Completely understandable. Now, I first met Ed years ago. This was after the time that Bill obtained his shrine. Ed and his wife Joanne came to the temple, and right away they felt something that clicked, something connected, so they went through the initiation ritual that very afternoon. Now, later on, I would discover the reason why they resonated so strongly with the Tao. And that's because I got a chance to meet Ed's teacher. Ed's teacher is Jerry Petit, and as well as Jerry's wife, Fran Joseph. So when I first met Jerry and Fran, I thought, wow, here's an instance where these two, Jerry and Fran, they look like an elderly couple. If I pass them on the streets, I probably would not pay them a whole lot of attention. But when I got to know them, I realized the depth of character that they possessed. So they were not only martial arts masters, but also they were deep into philosophy. So Jerry was known as the student from who really got the essence of what Bruce Lee taught. And when I visited in their home, I saw that they had bookshelves full of these philosophical works. And what they later on said to me was that Jerry had the opportunity to browse through Bruce Lee's bookshelves. And what he did was that he took a camcorder and he swept those bookshelves top to bottom so that he could later on review the video footage to see what the books were that Bruce Lee had been studying when he was alive. Bruce Lee himself was quite a philosopher. If you delve deeper into his books, you will see that very clearly, and he even shared a lot of that philosophy, which is completely Tao-oriented, in video clips that you can still find today on YouTube. So I then realized the reason why Ed resonated with the Tao, the authentic Tao, was because that's what he had been taught. So he liked to meditate, and later on, he found a particular way to meditate that was especially powerful. So this had to do with another two friends of mine, Rosalind and Joey. So they have a very nice home not too far from where Ed lived, and they've set up a shrine in their home that is just absolutely beautiful. So when they became friends with Ed, one of the requests that Ed had was to come over every now and then to their home and to meditate in their shrine room. So they were happy to accommodate, and Ed was a very accomplished practitioner in meditation and all kinds of spiritual pursuits. So what Rosalind later on said was that he would meditate for a very long time. And when I spoke of this to Ed, he talked about how he could, at the deeper levels of trance, he could feel this powerful energy, in that room with a shrine, like nowhere else. And it got him into all kinds of depth, and it was one major reason for him to decide that he needed to have a shrine of his own. So that's how it came to be. He connected with the ordained masters. He talked about what he wanted to accomplish, and they were very glad to help him. They assembled the resources for him, put it together, conducted a ritual. Everybody pitched in. So, and make a long story short, that shrine has since been established in Ed's school out in Valencia. And if anyone is curious to see and would like to get a virtual reality tour, a VR tour of that shrine, just go ahead and send me an email at derek7@outlook.com, and I can point you in the right direction. And that way you can see how a shrine is supposed to look. Now, both Ed and Bill committed themselves to the path. You heard Bill mention that he needed to become a vegetarian in order to be the owner of a shrine, of an actual Kuan Tao shrine. So that's very true. For other people, whether they follow vegetarianism or not is of no consequence. It's optional, it's recommended, but if they decide to not do that, it's not a problem. It's just the path that they need to follow. But if you are the owner of a shrine, you absolutely have to commit to that. And the reason is because you have to serve as an example for other people. So when I asked Ed about this, I said, Ed, would you be okay with that? So Ed mentioned that, first of all, Joanne, his wife, was really advanced in studying diets and nutrition, and had gone into another level with raw vegan foods. So knew all about the benefits, knew all about the mind clarifying effects. So it would not be a problem for her. For him, he grew up like me, omnivorous, eating everything in sight, and he said to me that he was willing to give up just about everything, but sushi was going to be kind of tough. And I said, well, I'd like you to get to know a particular restaurant called Shojin here in Los Angeles, Japanese restaurant. They make incredible sushi that is entirely vegan. You will not believe your taste buds. And you will then realize, Ed, that you are actually not giving up on anything that you need to miss if you decide to go vegetarian. So that took place. He discovered that I was exactly right about vegan sushi. So that was sort of the last obstacle that basically, disappeared. So the path was clear for him to obtain that shrine for himself. So this is just a quick account of what Ed did that led to him obtaining a shrine. And for those of you who ask, so Derek, what about you? Well, one day I will most likely inherit the shrine that is now sitting in my parents' house. But they're both doing very well. They're both healthy. So probably I'm hoping, knocking on wood, that's not going to happen for quite a few more decades to come. So there you go, my quick little story about people obtaining shrines. Let's go ahead and do the meeting ending ritual, everybody.
起立，面向佛堂，持架三鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，持架规则是一鞠躬，接班一鞠躬。Okay, everybody, we are done.
Participate in the Tao meeting by joining us online. For information, go to Taoism.net/Tao